What if the scariest monsters were never meant to hurt you? What if they were designed to protect you? Before traffic lights, before warning labels, before anyone could Google danger, there were stories. Stories told at night. Stories told quietly. Stories that followed you into your dreams. Imagine being a child hundreds of years ago. No electricity, no streetlights, no fences around the river, just open land, open water, and adults who could not watch you every second. The river was part of life. It watered the fields. It fed the crops. It carried fish. It connected villages. It looked peaceful, beautiful, even. But rivers lie. They look calm on the surface. Underneath, they pull, they twist, they trap. Children don't understand currents. They don't understand depth. They don't understand how fast water moves once you fall. If a child disappears today, we call emergency services. Centuries ago, there was no one to call. So parents needed something stronger than explanation. They needed fear, not random fear, specific fear. Water is dangerous is too vague. Stay close to me is too abstract. But if something lives there, if something watches, if something waits for children who wander too close, that changes everything. Now the river is no longer scenery, it is a presence. It has intention. It has hunger. And once a story has intention, it becomes unforgettable. Across villages in Japan, parents told their children about something in the water. Not a fish, not a crocodile, not a dragon. Something smaller, closer to human, almost familiar. It had a name, but before we say it, we need to understand why it existed at all. Because monsters do not appear randomly. They are shaped by what people fear most, and in old Japan, what people feared most was losing a child to a silent river. And there's another reason these stories work. A very simple one. Children do not learn danger the way adults do. Adults learn through probability. Adults can hear 1 in 1,000 and still behave carefully. Children don't process danger as probability. They process danger as a character, a face, a presence. This is why a warning sign often fails. Because the brain doesn't feel threatened by a sign. It feels threatened by something that can act. Something that can choose you. A child can understand. That thing wants me, even if the thing is imaginary. And there is something else. Humans remember fear better than advice. You can forget 100 explanations, but you do not forget one story that made your stomach drop. Fear creates memory, not because it is pleasant, because it is efficient. That is the hidden function of folklore. It is not entertainment. It is not just culture. It is a safety system. A village cannot build fences around every river, but it can build a story inside every child's head. And once the story is inside you, you begin to police yourself. You step back from the water. You hesitate. You look at the surface for movement, even when there is none. This is why the best monsters are not random. They are placed exactly where danger is real, near cliffs, near forests, near deep water. And the river was the perfect place, because rivers do not announce themselves. They don't roar. They don't show teeth. They don't chase you. They simply wait. And that makes them psychologically terrifying. A silent threat feels smarter. A silent threat feels intentional. So parents did what humans have always done. They gave the silence a mind. They gave the water a personality. They gave the river a creature. Not to make children curious, to make them cautious. And this is where Japan's river monster begins. Eventually, the river monster received a name, Kappa. Not a dragon, not a giant beast. Something smaller, about the size of a child, almost human. It had green skin, long fingers, and a shallow bowl of water on its head. That detail is important. The bowl. Because once you add a specific object, the creature becomes real in the mind. Something in the river is forgettable. A creature with a bowl of water on its head is not. The brain clings to detail. It sketches it. It repeats it. It imagines it just below the surface. The kappa was not described vaguely. It was described precisely. It loved cucumbers. It challenged people to sumo wrestling. It could be defeated if you bowed first. These details seem strange, even absurd, but psychologically, they serve a purpose. Specific monsters are stronger than abstract ones, because specificity creates imagery. Imagery creates emotion. Emotion creates memory, and memory changes behavior. If you tell a child, the river is dangerous, the mind has nothing to picture. But if you tell a child, there is a creature with wet hands waiting under the surface, the river transforms. Now the child does not see water, the child sees eyes, hands, a bowl reflecting the sky. The fear becomes tangible, and tangible fear is far more effective than statistics. There is another reason the details matter. They give the monster rules. The kappa bows back if you bow first. It loses power if the water spills. It prefers certain victims. It behaves consistently. And consistent monsters feel believable, because reality has rules. A creature with rules feels less like chaos and more like something that exists. So the bowl of water is not random. The love of cucumbers is not random. The strange politeness is not random. They are anchors, mental anchors, that hold the creature in place inside the imagination. And once the creature is anchored, the river is no longer neutral. It is inhabited. That is the genius of the design. Not terror for terror's sake, but terror with structure. The kappa did not need to exist physically. It only needed to exist clearly, because clarity is what makes fear stick. If the kappa was a tool, then we have to ask an uncomfortable question. What replaced it? Because rivers did not disappear. Danger did not disappear. Children did not become invincible. Only the stories changed. Today, most children are not afraid of rivers. They are warned about something else. Don't talk to strangers. Don't share your location. Don't click unknown links. Notice the pattern. The threat is still invisible, still silent, still waiting. We no longer say, a creature lives in the water. We say, there are people online. The structure is identical, an unseen presence, a hidden intention, a danger that cannot be detected at a glance. The kappa waited under the surface. Now the threat waits behind a screen. The river looked calm. The internet looks harmless. Both feel ordinary, until something pulls you in. And just like before, abstract warnings are not enough. So we create characters, scammers, hackers, predators, monsters with names, faces, behaviors, rules. We describe them vividly. We tell stories that circulate in schools. We amplify fear through narrative, because narrative is efficient. Modern society builds physical barriers, but it still relies on psychological ones. And fear is one of the oldest psychological tools humans have. The kappa taught children to hesitate at water. Modern monsters teach children to hesitate at screens. Different surface, same mechanism. This does not mean the danger is fake. The river was real. The risks online are real. The monster is simply the interface, a way to translate complex danger into something the human brain can grasp. So when we ask, was the kappa real? We might be asking the wrong question. The better question is, what story is protecting us now? And what story are we still afraid of? Because somewhere, in every generation, there is always a new river, and something waiting beneath it.